Good morning, lovely ladies, gentlemen, whoever's watching. How are you? I hope you guys are doing great. I'm going to push you back just a little bit. Okay, so today we're going to be doing some tie-dye of paper. Now, it's a little bit tricky, and also the last time I tried it, I used the wrong paint. So acrylic paint really didn't show up very good. It didn't adhere to the paper very well. Now, let me see. Like here, I can show you some of the tie-dye paper here. Let me see. Like this is a piece of tie-dye paper here. See that it's real faint pink. And then I did some pieces down here in this little journal. So this is my gratitude journal. I'll be writing this page tomorrow. This page I did today. So it just, depends. I put some over here too. I have some little here and some little bit down here. And I really like using different mediums. So I like using different paper. And so I like to try new things. So I have about a cup and I'd say a cup and a quarter, cup and a half of hot water in here. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the white vinegar, plain white vinegar, to this. If I can pour this big thing. Let's see here. 1. So that'll help set the color. And we're going to be using food color today because that's the paint I think might do okay. Now, I'm trying this out. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Aren't these long-handled spoons amazing? I have no affiliation with this, but I got these on Amazon. I think they're so darn cute. I love them. So thought I'd show you those. And so we're going to go ahead and put some coloring in here. Now, I love doing a lot of different things with pink. So when I Bible journal, it just kind of, I don't know, it just girly. It kind of sets my mood. So I use a lot of pink. So I'm just going to be working with pink today. But you could do whatever color you want. Now, this I bought is gel food colors, but they're the pastels. So I'm going to try these. So we just want to get a nice, I don't want it to turn out red is my thinking. So I'm going to go slowly. Let me grab a spoon. So we just want a nice pink. I think that is good, but I'm going to go just a little bit darker, just to one more drop, just to make sure that it isn't as faint as what I had before. So you see we got 2 drops. Excuse me. In here. So we have the water and the vinegar and the food color. Excuse me. I don't cough until I get on film. I'm like, what is going on with that? Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to tie-dye one of these doilies, paper doily. So I'm going to go ahead and tie it first. So what I like to do is just kind of crunch up the paper so it's not real stiff or anything. You just kind of crunch it up. And so then I open it up. Kind of open it up because I want it to look a little vintage and a little, So then I'm just going to kind of like fold it a little bit. Kind of crunch it and fold it. And then I'm going to tie-dye it. I'm going to tie it. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to cut some strings. And this is regular food grade paper string. But you could use whatever string, it doesn't have to be because we're not going to be ingesting this or anything. We're not going to be eating the paper. So. And then just kind of tie it here and there. I'm going to cut this one a little too short. Tie it kind of tight. And you're probably thinking, wow, you're going through a lot of work just to use that little bit of paper here and there. But I like having different things on hand when I Bible journal. and I do my creative pages and decorate my pages, I like to have different things I can choose from. So maybe you're not like that, but maybe you are. Maybe you like, you know, different mediums and different things to choose from. So I'm going to tie this all the way down here. And the hardest part will be after it dries and you have to open this up, and try to open it up without tearing it. So this end, I'm going to go ahead and tie the little, you know, kind of lacy part, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. And then just going to kind of stick it in here and let it kind of do its thing for a little bit. I'm going to leave it in there for a little while. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with some paper. So this is just regular computer paper that I'm using. So just kind of crunch it up so that way it will hopefully take the ink, the coloring a little better. And it'll also look a little worn. That's what I like. I like the little bit of worn look. And then you can just kind of, you know, do it however you want to do it. And then just go ahead and kind of tie it. Sorry. I'm just going to cut some pieces here. You can do it, you know, however you choose. And you may want to add even more strands of string than I'm using. Just whatever you prefer. These strings hopefully are going to give us the, see, it's light pink. Look at that. See, it's dying. So wherever we have the strings is where it's going to be white. So you can see that it's tie-dyed. And I think it's a really cute and fun thing to add to your pages, especially if you like pink like I do, because I love drawing flowers. I love drawing roses and things. And this just goes perfectly with my kind of theme that I like to use. And you want to fairly get these pretty tight, because if you don't have them tight, then you're going to get the pink in there, and then you're not going to see the tie-dye at all. So not, you know, after it's kind of dyed, it doesn't really matter, and wrinkly. It's after it dries, it will look a little bit more, the paper will look a little more like has a patina to it, like a little vintage kind of patina, like I showed you. And I think it looks really cool. And it's fun gluing it onto your page. So then you can just, you know, put this in here too. So let it get some dye on it. Look at that one. Super, super cute. We're going to keep turning it in here and there. And the hardest part, like I said, is when you let it sit out on the towel. I'm going to let it sit on the towel overnight. And then tomorrow about this time, 24 hours later, I'll cut all of the little strings off very carefully so you don't cut the paper. And then I will, you know, begin to unfold it as a sheet of paper. Now it's going to be really wrinkly, and it'll be hard to unravel. So you have to be very careful. But I did do a test one before. Like I said, I used acrylic paint, and it didn't work out too good. It was very light color. So I'm hoping this will keep its color, because that's why I put the vinegar in there, so it will hold its color, and I hope it does. So then this one I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to kind of, you know, fold it. However, this one I'm even going to fold in half and then tie it. I think I'll only do 2 pages before I waste a ton of string. I thought I was wasting it before when I made it before. And I was like, I was just about to throw it away. And I'm like, this is too hard to get undone after it dries. And I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and pitch it. And then I said, no, let me see. Let me open it up and let me see. Even though it's light colored, it still looks cool on white paper. And I said, I'm just going to go ahead and play with this and open it up and let the sheets, you know. And it was cute. I thought it was cute. I think it's really cute. I love using it. Okay. And this one you get less string when you fold it in half. You're going to get the same effect, if not maybe better. And then just put it in there. And then so we have some tie-dye. Isn't that amazing? Now let's see this one. Yes, see, it's getting pink. How cute. And you could even, if you can untie the strings, you could even use the strings, like coral the string around on your Bible journaling or whatever. I think that would be cute too. And this one is getting a nice shade of pink. I think I'm about ready to take this one out because I don't want it to get too much darker than that. So I'm going to take this one out and I'm just going to kind of lay it here overnight. And then I'm going to leave these in just a little bit longer so they can get, you know, so they can dye too. So I think this is a really cute little project and you're going to love it. And you could do the same thing with some little muslin fabric, some cheesecloth. If you have fabric, you could do the same thing with some little bit of, you know, white fabric or something. We may do that at another time. And, but yeah, this is going to be really cute. You're going to love it. You're going to love using it if you have it on hand. So I have this little, kind of like a little box that I found. It has little pockets in it. It opens up like an envelope and it has the little button in the little elastic thing to close the lid. So I'm going to file all of my different papers and fabrics and ribbons and different things in there. And that's going to be so helpful to have that on hand when I do my journaling and stuff. I'm getting ready to move my desk into the little area of my new bedroom and that I've been painting and wallpapered and spent a lot of time on that. And I'm going to be able to have all of my stuff right there by my desk, and I'll be able to do that. So today in scripture, let's see where I worked this morning. I was up a little bit later this morning. I stayed up late last night, really having fun with these pages and drawing. But this morning I did this. This is my work from this morning. Some roses that I drew. I'm learning how to draw different types of flowers and really getting them shaded really well and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. And I know I've been spending a lot of time on it, but I've been really enjoying myself. So today I started reading Luke 24:36. And then I went all the way, and you can do it. I'm not going to go all the way. I went all the way to 53, where this, where this page ended. Yeah. So we're going to read the first scripture, though. While they were still talking about this, Jesus himself stood among them and said to them, "Peace be with you." They were startled and frightened, thinking they saw a ghost. He said to them, "Why are you troubled? And why do doubts rise in your minds? Look at my hands and my feet. It is I myself. Touch me and see. A ghost does not have flesh and bones as you see I have." So, and then it goes on and on. But so this was really nice this morning, sitting very quietly. I had some matchas this morning, some green tea. It's been, I tried it before and it didn't agree with me too well. So today I put in some goat milk in it and it was a little bit better. So I think it would be okay if I did, a little bit of the milk with it or something. For some reason, it just kind of, I don't know. But so far, so good. So that was early this morning. It agreed with me fine. I had a huge big cup, 16 ounces of green tea this morning. So it's supposed to really be helpful to you. And it's supposed to help you to not overeat, and all that. I'm going to read this little page. I don't know. I haven't read it before, but What do you want? It says, and this is revolves around verse John 1 of 38, and it says, "What do you want?" Help if I have a marker. I do much better. Jesus asks you. It is such a simple question, and yet you don't know how you answer that question is going to shape the rest of your days. So see what he said? So if you can't answer that question, what do you want? And um, you don't have an answer to that question. How do you know, or how do you know how you can start changing your life? How can you change your life if you don't know what you want, right? So it's good to sometimes sit down and write out what would make you happy, what makes you happy. First of all, if you know what makes you sad, sometimes you know what will make you happy, not those same things that make you sad. And a lot of times, people can always come up with the things that they don't like about something or someone or whatever. And it's much easier to take all of those and write those down too, because if you write those down, what you don't want and you don't like, it's much easier to get the results and the idea of what it is you do want, right? So it's a good way to know where you're going, right? It's a good way to get yourself organized within yourself of where you want to go, what changes you can make to get there. Okay, and then it says, "I saw you following me." Jesus says, "You turn to your friend as a slight blush washes across your face. Then you look back to Jesus. His compelling force is so great that you don't concern yourself with being embarrassed. Stand there, poised between your old life and the future you feel arrives as new never before. Time seems to stand still. All the colors around you are vivid. The sounds are clear and almost musical. What do you say when Jesus asks what you want? Do you even know what you want? As you stand there enclosed in a holy space, even in the midst of a crowd, you examine your heart. Are you coming to Jesus out of curiosity? Do you have some need you think he might meet, or intellectual question he might answer? Is there something in you that needs to be healed? Is there some brokenness, a piercing or unrelenting pain, a failure from your past that you would like him to carry? Do you need forgiveness? Did you hear that? He will carry your pain. He will carry your past. He will carry your sins, right? Give them to the Lord. Ask for forgiveness, give them to the Lord. He will carry your pain. Is there something you have tried to fix that escapes your skills? Exactly what is it that you want from Jesus of Nazareth? Tell him in your prayer of the heart exactly what you need. And so that was in reference to John 1 of 38. The passage was John 1 of 35 through 52. And the author is Jeannie Milley. So a lot of times we don't know what we want. We don't know what direction to go in. And that's okay too. But if you ask Christ, what direction should I go? What direction should I take? Should I make this choice or that choice? The answer may not come right away, but eventually the answer will come, right? He will answer you. And you have to look for the answers. You have to wait and listen for the answers. And sometimes we already know the answer, but it's just we don't take the time to sit quietly and to listen to the Lord, right? So when we pray, we need to make sure that you take time to listen. Another thing that I've been doing a lot lately, and a little bit more than I usually do, is when I Bible journal and I do my gratitude, I kind of pray as I write, and things that's on my mind, I get off my mind, and things like that. And then when it comes to the end, I always write 3 things that I'm grateful for. You know that from watching my other videos, that's 3 things that I like to write. So I really am faithful about that. But the other thing that um, I don't know if I read it or I heard it or I was watching someone else and heard it. And I was like, I probably don't do that enough. And so by watching other people's videos, you learn so much from other people. And so, and that's praising God, right? Praising Him, and I may have said that here before, about praising Him. So I've been making sure that I'm writing it out, that I'm praising Him, that I'm finding new words to express my feeling of gratitude for Him, right? How He's helped me throughout my life, how He's helped, look over us and watch over us and keep us healthy and safe and secure and all of that. And not everybody can do that, and not everybody um, feels they have the opportunity to do that, or time to do that, or whatever. But it really is, since I've been doing that, I can tell you my life has been a lot better just within myself. And it's probably only been about 2 weeks or so that I've really been making sure at the end of my writing, at the end of my gratitude journaling, that, because I do my Bible journaling, then I'll go back and do my writing in the gratitude journal, and that's where I'll do like a written prayer, and sometimes I'll just sit quietly and pray too, of course. Um but anyway, I've been really trying to focus on that point, and as we go along and we evolve with Bible journaling, you'll learn bits and pieces from other people who you watch or you listen to. And the three things that you're grateful for, I think I got that from like Tony Robbins like years ago. Please make sure that you write 3 things that you're grateful for. So that seems to come pretty easy, because you can write for the most the most simplest things. Like some of mine today were like, I was grateful for the dinner we had last night. I was grateful for my friend's friendship of yesterday. I spent some time with my friend. I was grateful for the flowers that we bought. Just different little things like that. It doesn't take a whole mind, like something elaborate to talk about, or to think about, or to write about. It's just your own personal experience. You can never be someone else, right? So just stick to making yourself the best you can be, right? And then trying to find out what works for you, and then find out from through other people what you can incorporate in your Bible journaling. Because sometimes when we get to writing, like me, even I've been doing it for years, but you get to writing, and there's some days that you're just stumped on, like my page is like half full. I don't know what to write. And I try to write a whole page, to make it look nice and finished up. So you want to make sure that you are, you know, putting in there the things that really mean something to you. Like it means something to me to be writing about how much love I have for Christ, how much He loves me, that He is the Almighty. He is amazing. Look at His world. Now, if you look at His world with um, positivity, and not think about every single thing that's wrong and pick out every single thing that's wrong, because a man caused it or what have you. But if you look at all the good things, there's so many good things that you can choose and you can pick out, right? I'm just grateful for the energy to like do some of the work that I've been doing, like working in remodeling in my bathrooms and repainting a wall in my library. And I have a second coat to put on today, and I'm going to get that done. I wanted to get it done yesterday, and I spent a little too much time with my friend. So I'm going to try to put some paint clothes on as soon as I'm going to clip this video, and I'm going to get that painted. But anyway, but you can find so much good in the world, if you start thinking about everything that is good. Start thinking ahead of time when you're sitting there quietly about yourself, or right before you fall asleep, like you want something really good going on in your head before you fall asleep. I always try to think of what is the greatest stuff that I can pick out of today. What is the most beautiful things I saw today? What is the most beautiful things someone said to me today, or that I did for someone today, or whatever? Like I bought my neighbor flowers yesterday, some daffodils, because I bought them the day before, and I put them in water, and they opened up in the morning so nice and big, and just, oh my gosh, just gorgeous. And I know my neighbor would love them. And she's by herself quite a bit. And so I said, I'm going to go and get those. So I went to the store just for that, got her 2 bundles of those, and took them to her yesterday. And she was so excited. And this morning she sent me a picture of them. They're all opened up. She said, And this made my day. There's something so simple, and it cost me like what, $6 to make someone else so happy, that she can be loving those flowers for probably 4 to 5 to 6 days, depending if she trims them on the bottom, every other day or every other day or every day or every other day. So the water can absorb from the bottom, change in fresh water every day. And she could have those probably for about a week. And it just, she loved it, and I knew that it would bring some sunshine to her because she has like this sun deprivation where you don't get enough sunlight. Like when it's sunny, I'm raring to go. I'm the same way, a little bit. My son is worse than me, but we have a little bit of that. And then when it's cloudy days, you don't even want to get out of bed, right? And so she has that also, and a little bit worse than we do. But yeah, so it just like I wanted to brighten her day, and to make her feel good, And let me grab my daffodils. I'll show you mine. They're gorgeous, simply gorgeous. They're going to brighten your day too, just by seeing them. But look at the detail. Oh, they smell wonderful. Look at the detail. They are simply adorable. So I really made her day with that. And it made my day too, of me having them and knowing how beautiful they were and how much, when I put those in water, they were all closed. They were not open yet. So they were just cut flowers and not open yet. And when I woke up the next morning, I was surprised that they were full blooms that next day. And she was too. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. They were just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So we're going to go ahead and take these, I believe, out of water. I think they're going to be pretty good pink color. And we're just going to let it dry on this paper or on this towel. And I think we're just going to get a real nice color. And I'm not going to squeeze it as much as I squeezed the other day. I think that's why it was so hard to get unwrapped too, is because I really squeezed the water out. Don't squeeze the water out too tight. A little bit, but not too tight, especially where the strings are. You'll have a hard time getting the knots open or to get them cut from the paper. So I'm going to go for now, and I'm going to probably add to this video. So we'll see you in the next clip along with this video. If I can mute it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to be making some sweet potato fries for tonight. So I'm going to do 2 regular potatoes, and I'm going to do a sweet potato because my husband doesn't like sweet potato. So I'll eat the sweet potato, and he can have the regular. Let me get my potato peeler. I don't want all of that skin on there, just a little bit. I'm going to try to leave some, but I don't like a ton. I like a little bit. You want to leave a little bit and eat the skin of your potato. If you eat your potato, it's great fiber. But some of these bad marks, I kind of take off. right? I already washed them, so. Perfect. All right, made a little mess, but, and I just cleaned over here today a little bit. Oh, well, okay. So we're gonna put that aside. Get it off of here. And I like to kind of chop in half. That way you can lay your pieces down flat and then cut. So we're having bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches tonight. Okay, and then you can take a couple at a time, then make them like a fry. Right? I'll put mine over here. And then I'm going to probably add a little seasoning. We'll probably put a little turmeric on there. And then, let's see what else. And you can cut them thicker or you can cut them narrower, however you like your fries. And these little ends, we'll do those too, but get the rest of this. You want enough room for them to kind of dry out there, bake. I thought I had my other little oven set up out in the den, but I don't. We took it back at Christmas time. I'm like, took it back to the bakery. I'm like, oh, shoot. Now I got to heat up the whole oven for this, but oh, well. It'll be okay. It'll all be okay, right? God is always looking out for our greatest good. It'll all be okay. Okay. And then I don't want to put too much because I know I have those 2 potatoes because my husband, when it comes to carbs, he can eat some carbs. So I have to kind of watch him a little bit. But you know how guys are. You know. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, so I have my sweet potato. I'm going to get rid of this garbage just because the fact I don't like looking at it, taking up my board space. Get rid of that, and I need to take the garbage and the recycle out today. And I need to lock my dumpster. My dumpster got what do I want to say? Picked up today, and I'm going to be cleaning out my art room. So I don't want anyone else to load my dumpster up before I do. Because I want to accomplish that. You know, you save all this stuff. Like I was in design in college and all this stuff. And I have all these files that I thought, oh, I'm going to save all these files because one of these days I'm going to want to go back and refresh myself when things slow down in life and da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, it's been years and I still holding on to some of the artwork and some of the different stuff. And it's like, I believe it's time to let it go. You know, we'd like to move one day. I don't know if I should make his a little bit thicker. And we just don't need all this stuff, right? Just kind of minimalizing a little bit. And it feels good, but I have a lot to clean out. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing. My husband said he's going to start cleaning the office. I'm like, holy, that is like music to my ears. They say. I'm going to give this one more little chop here. Kind of thick. Okay. All right, we got one row out of that one. No, here's the other half of the potato. So we're going to try to, got a lot to fit on there. And be careful because they slip when you try to put them side by side. So you may as well just try to, well, that one worked out okay. But they do slip on you. All right, so that's one whole potato. I don't know if we can get that whole potato all in that one row because we only have enough for another row. I think it'll be just fine. And then we'll see what kind of seasoning we want to put on them. Well, I won't be using any salt. You know, I stay away from the salt. And so I don't salt any of my meals, any of my food. I actually stay away from salt. Have to. So and I think these are regular Idaho. Let me see if these are Idaho potatoes. I just grabbed it in a hurry. I don't know what the name brand was. Let's see, because they look a little like a yellow. Oh, they're a yellow potato. Farmer's Promise yellow potato. Now, yellow potatoes do not make the greatest mashed potato. They make a great baked potato. They make, you know, decent French fries. But when it comes to mashing it, terrible. Absolutely terrible. I had a disaster. I think it was one Easter we made mashed potatoes out of yellow potatoes my husband bought. Because we never bought them potatoes before. Why did you buy yellow? Because I don't know. I just picked them up just like I did this time, right? I didn't read. And the Idaho potatoes make the best mashed potato. And I whip mine in my mixer. Oh, nice and creamy. Delicious. We shouldn't be thinking about those mashed potatoes. But these will be halfway healthy for us. I'm going to put this in the sink. And I'm going to find some seasoning. Yep. Find some seasoning. Sorry, guys. I like to rinse off my stuff a little bit. Okay, we're going to use some turmeric. Yeah. So we're going to use a little turmeric. This is really good for you. We take the turmeric gummies. Helps me with my hip pain, joint pain. Helps with joint pain. I take it in a gummy. And I also put it in my coffee to not eat so much. Coffee and soda, baking soda. And then I'm going to use a little bit of paprika on mine. I don't know how he'll feel about a little paprika, but I'm going to put a little on mine. Maybe I'll do just a few of his. There, paprika. And then little, I think garlic powder would be a little too strong. We are going to do a little onion powder. I think this one's getting a little old. And this is powder, not onion salt. You want onion powder. Okay? Keep your blood pressure down. And then what would be another, cumin is really good for you too. We'll do a little cumin on mine. I don't know about his. I don't think but all these spices help. Spices are good for you. That's why all those other countries live longer. They really get into the spices. And then I'm going to try a little bit of Marcella. Grandma Marcella on mine. I don't think he'd like it. I'm just going to leave his kind of just with turmeric. I kind of like mine a little spiced up. And that's it. So these are ready to go. These are ready to go. And it's a little bit early yet. I need to wipe this down. It's a little bit early yet, but we are going to have some French fries, and I'm going to start cooking the bacon here pretty soon. These are broccoli seeds, and I tried it in the jar. In the jar, I couldn't get them to sprout. Maybe I don't have the right jar. I don't know. I didn't rinse them twice a day. I only rinsed them once a day. But they're just now starting to sprout today. They've been sitting in the sun. So kind of keeping them in the sun, and hopefully they'll sprout. And then what I do is I just leave them like that, and then I just keep wetting this thing, keeping this damp, and get them in the sunlight, and they're finally starting to go. So then we can put those like on top of our salads and things. So I'm going to go ahead and go for now, and I'll be talking to you soon. And I have to show you guys. My new little bird light. Isn't that cute? Has like a little turn on here. Isn't that cute? And my wallpaper has birds on it. So I'm going to take this up to the bedroom that I refinished. Let's see. There's a little bit more of a warmer light. Thought it had 3, but maybe not. It's a brighter light. You can dim it down. And it has this little ring that you can hang it and take this off. The little stand, it pulls off of there. And it's just kind of like a plastic, but it's like a wood look. Isn't it adorable? And it plugs in by USB. So I have it plugged in by USB. And then I have my phone charger in the kitchen, so I keep it plugged in here. But I just shared that so I could plug it. So I'm going to, and then it unplugs here at the bottom. If I can get it back out. There we go. And then I want to make sure that I keep this together with it. And I'll show you my painting, my paint that I finished upstairs. I got the second coat on my. So here's my wall color, you guys. It's a nice green. It's a really pretty green. It's hard to tell with the lighting, but it's really a nice, pretty green. It's kind of dim up here, so you're not going to be able to tell completely. But it is a nice matted green color. It's really pretty. I got the second coat on, so I'm so happy. So tomorrow I can hang up some pictures. So I'm so excited. So let's see. This video is 43 minutes long. I'm going to go ahead and end now. And I will see you guys again next week. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Next week, we're going to do a little bit of cooking and some other little things. So I'll see you then. And take care, you guys. Love you guys. Bye-bye for now. And I'll show you. Well, that's my art room. And then this is the bedroom that I'm still working on. It's a little bit junked up right now, but I'm still working on that. So it's getting there, you guys. It is getting there. So excited. See you soon.